Have you ever wondered why some days your dreams seem just out of reach, while on others, everything simply falls into place effortlessly? The secret may lie not in your actions, but in something even more powerful, your emotions. The energy you feel within truly shapes the reality you experience outside. In this book, you'll discover how mastering your emotional state can turbocharge your ability to feel good, manifest more, and transform your life from the inside out. Open these pages and prepare to unlock your inner power, because your best life starts with a single emotion. Feel Good, Manifest More, Emotional Alignment Made Simple, written and published by Intentional Prosperity. Chapter 1. The Energy Behind Emotions. Have you ever walked into a room and instantly sensed the mood, almost as if you could feel the energy in the air? That invisible feeling is a powerful force, and it's not just in others. It's within you, shaping every experience you have, whether you realize it or not. Most of us move through our days without thinking much about the way our emotions color life. We notice when we're annoyed in traffic, happy with friends, or frustrated at work, but rarely do we step back to observe the deeper energy behind these emotions. Why is it that even your best plans can fall flat when you're feeling low, or that doors seem to open easily when your spirits are high? The answer lies in the energy carried inside your emotional state. The problem begins when we start overlooking just how profoundly our emotional energy guides our choices, interactions, and outcomes. Life moves quickly, and it's easy to get caught in autopilot, reacting to situations without even noticing how we really feel. You might spend whole weeks without recognizing that underneath stress or distraction, there is a swirling, invisible force shaping what you attract and how you experience life. Maybe you feel like you're always taking one step forward and two steps back, wishing you could break free from old patterns. Or perhaps on some deeper level, you sense that you keep repeating the same stories and cycles without knowing how to shift things for the better. It can be frustrating when achievements feel hollow, relationships seem flat, or when opportunities just slip through your fingers. At the root of all these common challenges is a misunderstanding of how emotions actually work and the powerful energetic role they play. The transformative solution begins by understanding that emotions are not just fleeting sensations or moods to be managed. They are vibrant currents of energy running through your body and mind. This energy is like a tuning fork, vibrating at different frequencies depending on what you're feeling. When you learn to recognize, work with, and direct this energy, you unlock the first step toward true personal transformation. Simply put, your emotions act as an energetic GPS. When you're aligned and feel good, you broadcast clear, positive signals that invite more of what you want into your life. When you're disconnected or caught in negative spirals, you unknowingly attract more of the same. The empowering truth is, you don't have to be at the mercy of whatever emotion shows up. Instead, you can learn to gently tune your inner emotional energy, shifting it with awareness and intention. The core idea is that by giving attention to the energy behind your emotions, you gain the ability to become a conscious creator in your own life. Imagine choosing how you respond even in difficult moments and noticing, over time, that life seems less chaotic and more supportive. When you understand and apply the principles of emotional energy, familiar struggles start to shift. Every single person can do this. You do not need to be an expert in meditation or personal development. All it takes is a willingness to choose curiosity over criticism and small steps toward noticing your feelings rather than suppressing them. As you embark on this journey, you'll discover a new sense of power and peace that quietly shapes the world around you, simply by starting with the energy within. To begin tapping into the energy behind your emotions, start by becoming aware of what you feel in various moments of your day. Take a few minutes every morning or evening to pause and simply notice your emotional state without judgment. Perhaps in the morning, you sense a low-level tension lingering from yesterday's challenges, or in the quiet before bed, you might catch a glimmer of contentment after a peaceful dinner. Whatever you notice, acknowledge it as neither good nor bad, but simply as energy moving through your experience. This honest recognition is the essential first step. Next, Use your breath as a gentle tool to connect with the emotional energy within. When you notice a wave of frustration or anxiety, pause and take 3 deep, slow breaths with your attention gently focused on where you feel that emotion in your body. Maybe you sense tightness in your chest or a flutter in your stomach. Allow your breath to soften those sensations, like sunlight dissolving a morning fog. This begins to shift your energy, making space for more positive currents to flow through. As you grow more accustomed to checking in with your emotions during the day, try becoming curious about what certain feelings might be telling you. Suppose you find yourself dreading a weekly team meeting at work. Instead of pushing down your resistance, pause and consider what story the underlying emotional energy is telling. Perhaps it's signaling a desire for more respect or space to express your ideas. Or imagine celebrating a small win, a compliment from a friend. Allow yourself to really feel your energy lift, letting the glow sink deeper rather than brushing it aside. With time, you'll start to make different choices based on how your emotional energy guides you. For example, instead of arguing when you feel defensive, you might pause and choose a calmer response because you recognize the energetic shift it would create in the conversation, leading to more harmony. Applying these steps brings powerful transformation. Each time you choose awareness over reaction, you open the door to greater calm, resilience, and joy. Life feels lighter and more supportive once you know how to shift the energy behind your emotions on purpose. Relationships become smoother when you respond from a place of clarity instead of confusion or old patterns. Everyday challenges lose their sharp edge, and opportunities for growth and connection become clearer. You may notice physical improvements as well, such as improved sleep or less tension, as you release built-up emotional energy. Successes seem to arrive more quickly, and moments of contentment become easier to sustain because you have learned to work with rather than against your own flow of energy. As an initial exercise, right now or at the end of your day, gently close your eyes for 5 minutes. Notice your inhales and exhales, and quietly ask yourself, what energy am I feeling right now? Name it, breathe, and simply allow it to be. There's nothing you have to fix or change. Over time, this simple practice deepens your self-awareness and empowers your ability to shift your emotional energy whenever you desire. See this journey as a gradual unfolding rather than a quick fix, and let each step build your confidence and curiosity. Now that you have begun to sense and shift the energy behind your emotions, it's time to explore a remarkable truth: the frequency your feelings create in your life. In the next chapter, you'll learn how every emotion you experience is sending out a signal that attracts matching experiences, opportunities, and even people. Don't forget to connect with Intentional Prosperity for deeper guidance, fresh inspiration, and a growing community ready to support your transformation. Your journey to manifesting more begins now, and every new feeling moves you closer to the life you truly want. Chapter 2: Feelings. Create your frequency. What if every feeling you experience is quietly broadcasting a signal out into the world, shaping your reality in ways you've never imagined? Imagine for a moment that your emotions are like an invisible radio station, and whatever song you play inside becomes the music that fills your life. Each day, whether you feel joyful, anxious, hopeful, or disappointed, you are vibrating at a certain frequency, one that influences everything you attract and experience. This idea may sound magical, but science now reveals that emotions profoundly affect your mind, body, and even the world around you. The frequency you inhabit isn't determined by your thoughts alone, but by that powerful combination of what you feel, believe, and expect. Yet, most people stumble through life unaware of their emotional frequency. You may find yourself on an emotional roller coaster, rushing from excitement to discouragement, from confidence to worry, without realizing how those inner waves are impacting every outcome. It's easy to think that outer circumstances control your life, leading to a cycle of reacting, wishing, and hoping for things to finally go your way. Maybe you've noticed those days when everything seems to go wrong. Small inconveniences pile up, misunderstandings happen, and opportunities just slip out of reach. Or perhaps you feel trapped in old patterns, frustrated because even your efforts to stay positive don't seem to make a difference. Underneath all of this runs a subtle truth. Your emotional frequency attracts more of what you are already feeling, often without your conscious awareness. So, if you're holding stress, anger, or self-doubt deep within, those emotions may be calling in more stress and difficult experiences, leaving you stuck in a cycle that feels hard to break. Here's where the real transformation begins. Your feelings are not just visitors passing through your mind, they are the engine driving your whole experience. By learning to tune your emotional state, you actually change your frequency, and that has a ripple effect on your relationships, successes, and daily events. Think of it like tuning into a better radio station. Instead of repeating old songs of anxiety or self-criticism, you start playing tracks of gratitude, optimism, and peace. It's in this shift that real magic happens. You might notice that after shaking off a morning irritability, the day just seems to flow smoother. Or when you cultivate a sense of calm and appreciation, new opportunities or connections seem to appear out of nowhere. This isn't about pretending to be happy when you're not, but about becoming intentional with your emotional energy, gently guiding it in directions that serve your highest good. Embracing this practice brings immense benefits. As you align your emotional frequency with what you truly want, such as more joy, connection, or inspiration, you actively create space for those experiences to enter your life. Old patterns start to lose their grip as you realize the power you hold inside. The world around you begins to reflect your inner state in large and small ways, reaffirming your sense of purpose and possibility. This approach turns life from something that happens to you into something you participate in. Once you believe and act from this new sense of emotional awareness, you'll find a steady foundation for real, sustainable change. To turn this understanding of emotional frequency into empowered action, begin by noticing which feelings dominate your typical day. The first step is honest self-reflection, taking a few moments to pause and ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? Without judgment, simply label the emotion, whether it's bored, grateful, anxious, or excited. Once you have named it, notice how it colors your moment and even your interactions. For example, if you start your morning feeling restless, you might snap at someone or feel unusually impatient while waiting in traffic. This single moment can set the tone for your whole day if left unchecked, reminding you that your emotional frequency is always at work. After becoming aware of your primary emotional states, the next step is practicing gentle shifts. When you sense an emotion that you know pulls you down, take a few deep breaths and ask yourself what small practical change might help you move to a slightly better feeling. This is not about leaping from frustration to bliss instantly, but rather about gradual improvement, like shifting your dial to a new station that plays more uplifting music. For some, this might mean putting on an inspiring song, taking a quick walk in nature, sending an appreciative message to a friend, or recalling a recent moment of kindness you gave or received. Integrate this habit into daily routines by setting aside intentional moments for emotional check-ins, such as at lunch or just before bed. Consistency is more important than perfection. If circumstances feel overwhelming or drift toward negativity, gently redirect your attention toward an experience, memory, or even a wish that genuinely makes you feel a little lighter. For example, if you're feeling worried about a work deadline, pause to remember a time when you successfully completed a project and the relief that followed. Let those feelings, however small, set the next note of your day's frequency. You're simply creating micro moments of higher vibration throughout your daily routine. Soon you'll notice that patterns begin to change. Conversations at work may flow more smoothly, everyday annoyances become less triggering, and unexpected opportunities might arrive because you're signaling openness and resilience instead of resistance. Benefits of applying these steps unfold gradually, but can be life-changing. With practice, you start feeling more in control of your life, no longer pushed and pulled by every external event. You may find yourself responding to life's challenges with more patience and confidence, gaining a sense of ease and possibility that feels natural rather than forced. Small wins start multiplying. Maybe you notice friendships deepen, creativity spark, or health improves as stress loses its edge. Tuning your emotional frequency can even brighten the world around you, as positivity often inspires others to reflect similar energy back to you. Each intentional pivot, no matter how minor, shapes a new trajectory, strengthening your self-trust and emotional resilience over time. A simple exercise to solidify this idea is to take 5 minutes at any point today to close your eyes and scan through your recent emotions, like flipping through songs in a playlist. Choose one emotion you want to experience more often. Imagine what life would look like if that became your dominant frequency, and let yourself feel it in the present moment. Write this down somewhere as a gentle reminder to revisit it often. This journey is a continuous process, one that becomes easier and more natural with practice, leading to the empowered, joyful life you truly wish to create. In the next chapter, you will discover that the true magic of change starts with awareness itself. You will learn why recognizing your emotional patterns, rather than ignoring or resisting them, is the most essential first step on the path to transformation. Be sure to stay engaged with the Intentional Prosperity channel, share your own discoveries in the comments, and spark conversation about how shifting your emotional frequency is changing your life. The journey to alignment and manifestation is just beginning, and your new awareness will open doors you never even imagined. Chapter 3. Awareness is the first step. What if the missing piece in your journey to feeling better and manifesting more isn't found in doing more, but instead in simply noticing what is already happening inside you? Imagine this. Every day, powerful emotions move through you like invisible waves, yet in the business of daily life, you rarely have a chance to truly pay attention. You may try to push past discomfort, distract yourself from difficult feelings, or keep up a smiling face without ever understanding what's going on beneath the surface. The truth is, without real awareness of your emotional state, all your efforts to feel good or attract new possibilities can become ineffective, like trying to tune a radio without ever turning it on. So many people feel stuck for years, repeating old habits and stories because they miss the subtle yet crucial step of awareness. Maybe you find yourself reacting strongly in certain situations without knowing why. A comment from a friend stings unexpectedly, or a small setback at work brings about serious frustration or doubt. Or perhaps you notice you're easily thrown off by daily annoyances, but can't pinpoint exactly what sets you off. This lack of clarity is not your fault. It comes from years of operating on autopilot, coping with stress and daily responsibilities by numbing, distracting, or pushing through rather than pausing to observe. The cost is high. When you're cut off from real awareness, emotions like anxiety, anger, guilt, or sadness can run unchecked, keeping you stuck in cycles that feel impossible to break. The absence of awareness prevents lasting change and blocks the flow of growth, because what you can't feel, you can't shift. Thankfully, the solution is far simpler and much more powerful than you might expect. The first step toward lasting emotional alignment and true manifestation is awareness itself. This means turning towards your emotions with curiosity rather than criticism, noticing what you feel without rushing in to fix or judge it. By shining the light of aware attention on your inner experience, you invite those hidden feelings out of the shadows where they unconsciously influence your words, actions, and even the results you see in your life. Awareness is not the same as analysis. It isn't about obsessively dissecting every mood you have. It's about holding space for whatever feeling arises in the moment and learning to observe it with gentle interest. As you practice simple observation, a sense of space begins to open up around even your most challenging emotions. The true gift of awareness is a sense of choice and personal power. Rather than getting lost in a storm of thoughts or reacting out of old habits, you gain the ability to pause, reflect, and respond intentionally. Over time, you'll realize how much peace and clarity this shift brings. Imagine catching the rise of anxiety before it sweeps you away, or noticing a flicker of anger long enough to pause and choose a different response. Practicing awareness makes it possible to break free from cycles that once kept you feeling stuck, because you can finally see them as they happen. This gentle, non-judgmental attention is the foundation for every positive transformation that follows. Through awareness, you make space for acceptance, healing, and the gradual realignment of your emotional energy. As awareness becomes a daily habit, the rest of your life begins to shift in quietly powerful ways, leading to lasting improvement and a newfound sense of possibility. Start making awareness real in your daily life by dedicating a few minutes each day to notice and tune into your current emotional state. It could be while brushing your teeth in the morning, during a quiet commute, or even as you settle into bed at night. Bring gentle curiosity into this process and allow yourself to simply feel whatever arises. For instance, you might notice a sudden wave of nervousness as you remember an important meeting ahead. When you pause to notice it, label it as nervousness and observe how it feels in your body, perhaps a slight tightness in your stomach or rapid heartbeat. Resist the urge to judge, fix, or dismiss the feeling. Instead, witness it like a passing cloud, understanding that your awareness alone reverses the cycle of suppression that often keeps difficult emotions locked away. As this conscious attention becomes a habit, you can invite more clarity and understanding into daily situations that used to feel difficult or confusing. For example, imagine you get home after a stressful workday and typically snap at your loved ones without understanding why. With growing awareness, you begin to recognize the underlying frustration or tiredness instead, giving you a brief moment to take a breath, explain what you're feeling, or simply step back before reacting. This slight shift can completely transform the energy in your home, leading to kinder responses and closer relationships. The same benefits show up at work, where awareness enables you to spot rising tension before it evolves into full-blown conflict. Instead of reacting defensively to feedback, you might pause, scan your feelings, and respond with openness, preserving professionalism and creating space for growth. To root this practice in your everyday routine, try a short exercise today. Set a timer every few hours to quickly check in with your feelings. Close your eyes just for a few moments and ask yourself, what emotion is present right now? If describing the emotion is challenging, scan your body for physical sensations like heaviness in your chest or warmth spreading across your face, and name the closest feeling you sense. Dedicate a journal or notes app for quick entries, letting your awareness map out the patterns of your inner landscape over days or weeks. Soon you'll notice you're less on emotional autopilot and more able to pause before reacting. Through this new perspective, hidden patterns come into the light, and with them, the true possibility of change arrives. Embracing these steps fosters more than just insight. It invites peace, resilience, and a gentle control over your own responses. Over time, you'll find yourself less shaken by stressful events and more open to spontaneous moments of joy. Progress may unfold slowly, but each moment of awareness builds emotional strength and encourages your mind and heart to work together. The ripple effect can touch every area of your life. Relationships deepen, work becomes easier, and self-judgment fades as compassion grows. This is really the seed from which all other transformation sprouts. As you continue on this journey, be ready for the next turning point, clearing emotional blockages fast. In the upcoming chapter, you will learn effective tools to release stuck emotions that hold you back, making space for more freedom and lightness in your life. Share your thoughts, breakthroughs, or personal awareness exercises in the comments, and be sure you're connected to the Intentional Prosperity channel to stay inspired and involved. Every step toward greater awareness is a step toward lasting prosperity and alignment. Chapter 4. Clearing Emotional Blockages Fast. Have you ever felt like you were doing everything right, setting positive intentions, practicing gratitude, chasing your dreams, yet kept bumping up against the same invisible wall? Imagine what life could be like if you could move past the inner obstacles that quietly hold you back from your deepest happiness. We all carry emotional blockages, those stuck feelings, buried resentments, and lingering regrets that weigh us down and slow our progress. You might notice these blockages when you sense heaviness in your chest during stressful moments, recurring self-doubt as you reach for something new, or even unexplained irritability that seems to come out of nowhere. For some, emotional blockages show up as procrastination, low energy, or an inability to fully feel joy, no matter how hard they try on the outside. It's easy to blame outside circumstances for these ups and downs, but the truth is often much more personal. Many people move through years of their lives unaware of the hidden emotions they're carrying from old disappointments, unresolved fears, or even daily frustrations that are simply brushed aside instead of felt and released. The natural response to emotional discomfort is to distract, suppress, or power through, but the cost of ignoring your true feelings is a mounting pressure, a sense of being disconnected, and a repeatedly stalled sense of fulfillment. Emotional blockages become trapped energy, like a knot in a flowing stream, keeping you stuck in patterns that no amount of logic or willpower can change. If you've ever wondered why new affirmations or habits don't seem to stick, the answer is usually these unaddressed inner blocks. But there is good news. Clearing these emotional blockages can be simple, gentle, and incredibly effective when approached with the right mindset. Rather than wrestling with your feelings or waiting for circumstances to shift on their own, you can learn to gently welcome what's stuck, allow it space to breathe, and transform your emotional energy from the inside out. The heart of this process lies in fully feeling and accepting your emotions without judgment, even the ones you most want to avoid. This might sound intimidating at first, but by giving yourself permission to sit with uncomfortable sensations, name them, and direct compassionate attention toward them, you begin to dissolve their power and restore your natural flow. This approach is both freeing and empowering. When you treat emotional pain or tension as a messenger rather than an enemy, you open new pathways for relief and renewal. Imagine feeling the release of a heavy sadness after acknowledging its real source, or discovering a surprising sense of peace once you simply let yourself cry, breathe, or move through a wave of grief. These moments of clearing do not just provide temporary comfort. They actually lift blocked energy, restore ease, and create space for more clarity, creativity, and joy to enter your life. As you release emotional blockages, you stop identifying with old stories of limitation and begin to experience deeper confidence, connection, and the freedom to move forward. This practice unlocks growth on every level. To clear emotional blockages quickly, start by giving yourself a moment of quiet and turning your attention inward. Allow your body and mind to settle, then scan for areas of tension or discomfort. These physical sensations are often guides to where emotions may be stuck. Once you notice a tightness, heaviness, or ache, pause and ask yourself, what am I feeling here? Resist the urge to analyze or judge. Instead, simply acknowledge the emotion, whether it is sadness, frustration, anger, or fear. For example, if you sense tension in your chest after a difficult phone call, simply recognizing, I feel hurt and disappointed, helps to validate and release some of the pressure. The next step is to sit with that emotion, without trying to force it away or suppress it. Allow yourself to experience the feeling as it shows up, even if it feels unfamiliar or uncomfortable. Sometimes emotions need only a few moments of kind attention to start shifting. Imagine yourself placing a gentle hand over your heart or on the part of your body holding the discomfort, sending compassionate acceptance to that space. You can also try breathing deeply and slowly, imagining each breath creating space and softening the tension just a little more. Many find it helpful to put their feelings into simple words like writing a one-sentence statement in a journal. Right now, I feel anxious about my future. The act of naming and acknowledging emotions allows energy to move, making it far easier for your mind and body to let go of the emotional weight. Practical examples show how effective this practice can be. Picture a young professional, nervous before a big presentation, who notices a knot of worry in her stomach. Instead of suppressing her nerves or pretending they don't exist, she acknowledges her anxiety, breathes deeply for a few minutes, and lets herself feel it fully. Soon, the tightness eases, her mind is clearer, and she feels more confident stepping forward. Or perhaps a parent, overwhelmed by family demands, pauses to recognize the sadness and guilt simmering beneath his irritability. He sits quietly with the feeling, allowing tears to surface, then feels a sense of lightness and connection returning as the emotional blockage gives way. The benefits of clearing emotional blockages are almost immediate: greater lightness, improved mood, and the restoration of calm. Long term, you'll notice recurring challenges become less daunting as you process emotions instead of carrying them like heavy baggage. You may find you are more open to possibilities, less reactive, and better able to access your creativity and joy. Emotional clearing also deepens your relationships, helping you show up with authenticity and compassion, unburdened by past hurts. Try a practical exercise today. Set aside 5 quiet minutes. Place a hand over your heart, scan your body for tension, and ask yourself gently, what wants my attention now? Let that emotion be heard, breathe with it, and notice any subtle release. The key is repetition. The more consistently you practice clearing emotional blockages, the more quickly you'll move through challenges and return to balance. Your growth continues as we move forward into the art of choosing better thoughts, learning how to guide your mind alongside your newly liberated emotions for even greater alignment. Be sure to stay connected with the Intentional Prosperity channel, share your reflections or experiences in the comments, and help shape our supportive community. Every time you release old emotions, you claim a stronger, lighter, and more resilient version of yourself. Chapter 5. Choosing the Better Thought. Have you ever noticed how one thought can make your whole mood shift, as if you've suddenly stepped from a gray, cloudy sky into warm sunlight? Thoughts are small, but their impact can be enormous. Imagine waking up to a troubling memory or a worry about the day ahead. The thought follows you, and before you know it, it colors everything you say and do. Each of us carries an endless stream of thoughts, some welcome and some intrusive, and sometimes they feel so automatic that it barely seems possible to guide or change them. It's easy to believe that these thoughts are simply facts about life, serving as a kind of relentless script that you have no choice but to follow. Most people discover at some point that their days don't just unfold at random. Instead, the quality of our thinking often sets the tone and dictates whether we move through life with heaviness or hope. The problem is, negative, repetitive, or self-critical thoughts can become habits just like any other, replaying over and over until they feel like truth. Maybe you catch yourself thinking, I'm not good enough, I always mess this up, or nothing ever goes my way. These thoughts can pop up quietly after a disappointment, or loudly when you're trying to take bold new action. Even when you become aware of the pattern, it can seem almost impossible to change the mental soundtrack, and in tough moments, it's tempting to let the old thoughts take over. They shape your confidence, color your emotions, and influence your behavior more than you might realize. But what if you could choose thoughts that actually empower you, lift your mood, and gently nudge you toward your goals? The transformative truth is that you are not powerless in the face of your mind's chatter. Just as you decide what to wear, what to eat, or where to go, you also have the ability to choose better thoughts, one small shift at a time. This isn't about pretending challenges don't exist or forcing yourself to be unrealistically positive. Rather, it's about gently interrupting the unhelpful mental habits and reaching for thoughts that are more supportive, flexible, or hopeful. When you notice a self-defeating thought show up, you can pause and invite in a slightly better one, like a friend steering you back on course. The real magic here is that choosing a better thought rewires the mind over time. Imagine the ripple effect of waking up and catching that old script, I can't handle this, then replacing it with, I'm learning to handle new challenges, step by step. Instead of spiraling down, you feel a little surge of resilience and your emotional outlook softens. Choosing a better thought loosens the grip of old beliefs and unlocks pathways to personal growth. This skill, practiced consistently, nurtures self-trust, raises your daily energy, and brings you more into alignment with the person you want to become. As you make this a habit, you'll find that obstacles shrink, self-compassion grows, and the power to direct your own story becomes clearer with every new thought you choose. To apply the power of choosing better thoughts in daily life, begin by paying close attention to the subtle commentary running through your mind. Notice moments when your thoughts lean toward worry, self-criticism, or dread. The first actionable step is simple awareness. Catch yourself in the act without judgment or frustration. For example, if you're about to start a project and immediately think, this will be too hard for me, Gently pause and greet the thought like a passing train. Instead of accepting it as a fact, treat it as an old habit that you can influence. Ask yourself, what is a slightly better thought I can choose right now? The goal here isn't to swing to extreme positivity, but to find one thought that feels a little bit softer or more hopeful, such as, I'll just focus on getting started, or I have succeeded before and can take one small step now. Continue practicing this skill throughout your day in various scenarios. Imagine coming out of a challenging conversation with a friend, and your reflexive thought is, I always say the wrong thing. In this moment, choose to pause and replace it with, I'm learning how to communicate better, and each conversation teaches me something new. Over time, these micro-adjustments create a new mental environment, one that relaxes your nervous system and builds trust with yourself. Another practical example is noticing apprehension before a fitness class or meeting. Your first thought might be, everyone will notice if I make a mistake. Counter this by choosing, I'm proud of myself for showing up, shifting your energy from anxiety to self-respect, and noticing how much lighter your mood becomes. Maintaining this practice might not come naturally at first, but with consistency, it strengthens like any other muscle. The benefits become quickly apparent. Your emotional state stabilizes, it becomes easier to reframe setbacks, and you find more confidence when new challenges come your way. Positive changes show up in your willingness to try new things, your patience with yourself and others, and even in how you receive feedback. Relationships become smoother because your inner narrative is kinder and less defensive, and you start to experience a greater flow of creativity and problem-solving ability. Essentially, you are rewriting the story you tell about yourself, and a more hopeful, poised perspective begins to lead the way. As a practical exercise, set aside 2 minutes now or at the end of your day to write down 3 recurring negative thoughts you often notice. For each one, jot a slightly better or more compassionate alternative beside it. Practice repeating those new thoughts gently to yourself the next time you catch an unhelpful pattern emerging. Remind yourself that you do not have to believe every thought your mind offers. Instead, you can curate your mental atmosphere and nurture your future with each gentle shift. This journey toward better thinking is not about perfection, but about persistence and compassion for yourself as you learn new ways of being. Get ready to raise your emotional alignment to a whole new level as we move into the next chapter, focusing on the importance of alignment before taking action. You'll learn how being in a good emotional state makes your actions infinitely more effective and leads to the kind of results you truly desire. Make sure to stay connected to the Intentional Prosperity channel. Share your own experiences with choosing better thoughts in the comments, and invite others to join you on the path to a brighter, more intentional future. Each thought you choose brings you closer to your highest potential. Chapter 6. Alignment before action. Always. Have you ever pushed yourself to complete a task or chase a goal, only to find that your efforts fall flat or lead to exhaustion, disappointment, or frustration? It's common to believe that success comes mainly from hard work and constant action, and so many people pour all their energy into doing more in hopes that progress will finally come. Imagine, though, how different your results might be if every action flowed easily from a place of inner clarity and emotional alignment, instead of forced determination or underlying self-doubt. What if you discovered that aligning your feelings and intentions before moving forward was the real key to effective and joyful action? Modern life encourages us to be busy, to hustle, and to solve problems by charging ahead, sometimes without pausing to check how we actually feel. The pressure to perform often creates a cycle. You commute through your day with a hint of tension between your shoulders, tackle your to-do list while worrying about mistakes, and fall asleep wondering why everything feels like such a struggle. You may notice that even when you check off tasks, achieve milestones, or fulfill commitments, there's a lingering sense of dissatisfaction or emotional dryness. Many people experience burnout or lose their motivation not because they lack ambition or drive, but because they rarely pause to connect with their own emotional state before acting. You might recognize moments when you force yourself to keep going, even as your intuition whispers for a break, a realignment, or a kinder approach. Without emotional alignment, actions often miss their mark, leading to cycles of frustration or limited results. The transformative solution is to adopt a new approach. Prioritize alignment before taking action. This means pausing long enough to tune into your internal state and gently shift your emotions toward clarity, calm, motivation, or joy before you move forward. Alignment is about ensuring that your actions are in harmony with what truly matters to you, so that every step feels inspired and purposeful instead of forced. When you cultivate this habit, even for just a few moments each day, you create the space for effortless decisions, creativity, and even success to find you with less resistance. Rather than driving yourself from a place of lack, fear, or agitation, you tune into your higher self and act from fullness and inspired confidence. Adopting this perspective can transform even the most mundane of tasks. Imagine the difference between starting your day burdened with worry, rushing off to work still irritated from yesterday's stress, versus taking 5 minutes to ground yourself in gratitude, setting a clear intention for how you want to feel, and move through your day with presence. When you wait for even a small sense of alignment, to feel centered, purposeful, or simply at ease, your actions carry much greater impact. This approach not only reduces unnecessary stress, but it also helps reunite your mind and heart, allowing natural inspiration to replace struggle. Over time, this powerful shift softens perfectionism, deepens confidence, and makes every result, big or small, feel more satisfying and aligned with your true desires. The journey toward cultivating alignment before action can begin with a simple pause in your day. When faced with a decision, a task, or even a challenging conversation, take a few deep breaths and consciously step back for just a moment. This act of pausing gives you a window to check in with your current emotional state. Ask yourself, how do I really feel right now? If you sense tension, anxiety, or a racing mind, allow yourself another breath, or several, while affirming that you're worthy of acting from a place of clarity and calm. Then gently set an intention for how you'd like to feel before you move forward. For instance, before responding to a tense email, pause to breathe deeply and choose thoughts like, I want to respond from patience and understanding. Let yourself lean into that feeling, or at least find the smallest sense of it, before hitting send. A real-life example of this practice could be a student preparing for an important exam. Instead of launching into late-night cramming driven by fear, she decides to pause, breathe, and connect with a memory of herself succeeding at something difficult. Aligning emotionally, she chooses thoughts of reassurance and gratitude for the opportunity to learn, which in turn helps her study with more focus and confidence. Another scenario might be a parent heading into a busy morning with their children. Rather than reacting to chaos and noise with automatic frustration, they center themselves first with a few mindful breaths and intentionally set a goal to bring patience and lightheartedness to those moments. This doesn't magically erase challenges, but it dramatically shifts their experience and increases the odds of a positive outcome. The benefits of prioritizing alignment include steadier emotional energy, smarter decisions, and lower stress levels, even in hectic or problematic situations. Actions taken from presence and clarity tend to yield better results because they are intentional and inspired, unclouded by anxiety or internal resistance. You'll likely find yourself completing tasks more efficiently while feeling content, or finding creative solutions far more easily because your mind is open and your heart is engaged. Over time, patience and wisdom become your new default settings, and the people around you may respond in kind to your calm and centered energy. Practicing alignment regularly even helps you recover from setbacks more quickly as you learn to check in, realign, and try again without discouragement. To begin this transformation now, try this practical exercise. Select one routine task today, perhaps making breakfast or preparing for a meeting. Before taking any action, pause for a moment, focus on your breathing, and set a subtle intention such as, I want to bring openness and enjoyment to this. Notice if your thoughts or body sensations begin to shift. Perform your task and observe both the process and the results. How do you feel during and after? With repeated practice, these alignment check-ins become a natural part of your day, creating a new rhythm of effortless, guided action. In our next chapter, we will dive deeper into the art of raising your daily vibration, building on your alignment to create a lifestyle fueled by positivity, energy, and momentum. As you prepare to integrate these new habits, remember to stay in touch with the Intentional Prosperity channel. Offer your reflections or tips in the comments, and help encourage others to transform the way they approach action. Every small pause for realignment is an investment in your best self and the life you are creating, one intentional step at a time. Chapter 7. Elevate your daily vibration. What if you could wake up each morning and, regardless of what's happening in the world, feel genuinely uplifted, hopeful, and ready to handle anything the day brings? Imagine bringing a quiet sense of positivity into your morning routine, feeling a gentle hum of gratitude during the afternoon, and winding down at night with contentment rather than worry. This state of positive energy isn't just for the lucky few. It's available to anyone who learns the skill of elevating their daily vibration. The truth is, your personal energy and emotional frequency set the tone not just for how you feel, but for the kinds of opportunities, experiences, and connections that flow into your life. Yet for most people, everyday life is filled with demands, interruptions, and stress that seem to lower energy more often than lift it. It's easy to find yourself waking up tired or anxious before the day has even begun, only to move through your schedule in a fog of distraction or worry. By midday, maybe you sense a dip in patience or enthusiasm. Little things start to irritate you, and small problems feel heavier than they should. Perhaps you get home in the evening feeling flat, numb, or hurried, despite having accomplished all that you set out to do. Everywhere you turn, reminders of uncertainty or negativity can feel overwhelming. The challenge is clear. How do you keep your energy high and your mood optimistic, even when life pulls you in different directions? The transformative solution lies in shifting your focus from what is draining you to what uplifts and nourishes your spirit. Elevating your daily vibration begins with a choice, deciding that you are worth the effort it takes to feel good on purpose. This isn't about avoiding hard truths or pretending everything is perfect. Instead, it's about recognizing your ability to infuse your daily life with simple habits and gentle practices that lift your energy incrementally, building momentum with each positive shift. You don't need a miracle morning every single day. You just need to bring awareness to the frequency you're sending out and gently choose activities, thoughts, and moments that help you feel even a little bit brighter. The real power comes from understanding that your vibration is always under your influence, no matter what circumstances look like. Picture how your life might change if you devoted just a few moments throughout the day to habits that bring you joy or calm. Listening to a favorite song, pausing for deep breaths, noticing beauty in your surroundings, or taking a brief walk outdoors. These pockets of positivity don't erase the stress completely, but they offset it, raising your baseline and making it easier to return to a state of resilience and hope each time life gets heavy. Adopting this new perspective is like adding colors to a gray sketch. Energy, optimism, and inspiration fill in, lifting your daily life from routine to extraordinary. Making vibrational elevation part of your self-care toolbox begins a chain reaction that amplifies personal fulfillment and invites more opportunities for joy into every area of your life. Start elevating your daily vibration with small intentional choices, beginning the moment you wake up. Before reaching for your phone or thinking about the day's demands, take several slow, deep breaths and bring attention to one thing you are grateful for, however simple it may be. This practice alone can raise your baseline mood before your day even starts. Next, add moments of intentional uplift throughout your routine. For example, create short playlists of music that make you feel energized or peaceful, and let your favorite song play while you get ready for work. Take conscious pauses at intervals, even just a minute or two, to stretch, open a window for fresh air, or simply savor a warm drink. Notice how these little acts are not indulgences but powerful recalibrations in your emotional energy for the day. Real-life examples show how manageable and meaningful these elevating steps can be. Consider someone who faces long days filled with meetings and deadlines and often finishes feeling depleted. They begin their lunch break by walking outside, feeling sunshine, or pausing in a quiet corner with eyes closed and hands on their heart. This short interlude makes the afternoon lighter and even sparks a creative idea for a work project. Or think of a parent who feels exhausted by the evening rush. Instead of letting frustration boil over, they take 5 minutes with their child to laugh at a silly joke or dance together in the living room. These tiny bursts of joy reset the whole evening, making bedtime smoother and bringing everyone closer. The shift you'll experience from applying these changes is more than just emotional. Small, continual lifts to your vibration expand your resilience, sharpen your focus, and increase your ability to bounce back from stress. Suddenly, challenges feel smaller and wins feel bigger. Your relationships improve because you're more present and positive with those around you. You might notice unexpected support shows up, or that simple pleasures become more satisfying. Even the difficult days start to feel surmountable, because instead of spiraling downward, you have created easy, repeatable ways to lift yourself up, sometimes without needing any more than a change in breath or a shift in perspective. Challenge yourself now with a practical exercise. For one full day, keep a note on your phone or a small notebook accessible, and every few hours, jot down one thing, big or small, that made you smile or helped you feel a bit lighter. Review your list at night and notice how your awareness and appreciation grows. Over time, practices like these stack to become a natural foundation of optimism and vitality. Get ready, because the next chapter will explore the truth about resistance, why it shows up, what it really means, and how you can work with it instead of letting it drain your energy. Share your daily raising practices in the comments on the Intentional Prosperity channel and connect with others who are committed to creating higher vibes. Like, comment, and add your suggestions to keep our community thriving. Every step you take to elevate your vibration supports a more vibrant, rewarding, and joyful life. Chapter 8. The Truth About Resistance. Have you ever set out with a clear intention to change a habit, reach a goal, or cultivate more happiness, only to find yourself pulled back by an almost invisible force? This is resistance, the quiet but powerful inner friction that can make even the simplest positive change feel surprisingly difficult to achieve. Imagine telling yourself, "I'm going to wake up early every day to meditate," only to hit the snooze button again and again. Or consider the strong urge to eat better, only to look down moments later and realize you've once again reached for the snacks you promised to avoid. Resistance, in its many forms, is something everyone encounters on the path to transformation, and it often stands between the life you imagine and the one you currently live. Many people believe resistance is a sign of personal weakness or lack of discipline. When progress stalls, self-blame and disappointment easily creep in. You may start to doubt your ability to ever change, convincing yourself that this is just the way I am. It's common to feel frustrated, embarrassed, or lost when you hit the same walls over and over, whether it's avoiding exercise, procrastinating on dreams, or backing down from challenging conversations. Maybe you're motivated one week and derailed the next, trapped in a cycle of starts and stops. All of these experiences can feed a sense of being stuck, deepening self-judgment and robbing you of the excitement and possibility that once inspired you to begin. The transformative solution, surprisingly, is not to fight against resistance or label it as failure, but to welcome it as an intelligent messenger on your journey. Resistance is not a personal flaw. It's an indicator that you're bumping up against deeply held patterns, beliefs, or fears that want your attention. Rather than shaming yourself for feeling resistance or pushing it down, recognize it as a signal pointing to where your next breakthrough is waiting. By approaching resistance with curiosity and compassion instead of force, you start to make friends with it. You listen for what's beneath the urge to procrastinate or sabotage. A hidden fear, unrealistic expectation, or perhaps the need for safety as you navigate into new territory. Understanding and accepting resistance is both freeing and empowering. It allows you to honor the parts of yourself that feel uncertain or scared without letting them drive your life. Imagine the difference between berating yourself for postponing a project and instead gently asking, what part of me is feeling afraid or stuck right now, and what does it need? Adopting this perspective turns resistance into a tool for growth. With some space and honest self-inquiry, old blocks begin to dissolve and self-trust blossoms. This skill not only makes change easier, but transforms the entire journey into one filled with kindness and hope, rather than struggle. You are free to move forward with a new sense of acceptance, clarity, and success. Not by force, but by integrating all parts of yourself, even the resistant ones. Begin working with resistance by first pausing whenever you notice yourself avoiding a helpful action or slipping into old habits. Instead of criticizing yourself, take a gentle, curious approach and ask, what is my resistance really trying to tell me right now? Identify where in your body you might feel the tension. Is it a heaviness in your stomach or a tightness in your chest? Name what you feel without judgment. You might realize there's fear of failure before starting a new workout, or uncover the longing for comfort when faced with making a healthier lifestyle change. Awareness is the true foundation for lasting progress, and by recognizing resistance as information, not an enemy, you unlock a new level of honesty within yourself. Next, take one small step that honors both your desire for growth and the needs of the resistant part. This could be making the planned action smaller or more inviting. For example, if resistance appears around daily meditation and your mind screams, I don't have 15 minutes for this, try shifting your commitment to just 2 quiet minutes. Often, once you are started, momentum builds and you might end up meditating longer than planned. Or consider someone who wants to start running but feels an overwhelming urge to skip workouts. Instead of demanding a full run, allow yourself to begin with putting on your shoes and simply stepping outside for fresh air. The small victory over resistance creates positive energy and builds your confidence, making the next step easier. Change the way you talk about resistance with yourself. Swap statements like, I can never stick with things, for, I am learning to listen to myself and take small actions, even when I don't feel like it. Celebrate your efforts to show up gently in the face of resistance. The benefit of this compassionate persistence is far-reaching. You become less afraid of setbacks, more responsive to your own needs, and more flexible as challenges arise. Over time, the loop of self-doubt and procrastination is replaced by trust and pride in even modest progress, cultivating a feeling of freedom and momentum that ripples into every area of your life. The true magic happens when you stop tying your worth to how quickly you overcome resistance, and instead start applauding your willingness to meet it at all. By befriending resistance, you develop an ongoing dialogue with your inner self, making transformation a process of self-discovery rather than a battle. Each time you welcome resistance and take simple, honest steps, you lay the groundwork for remarkable breakthroughs and a more joyful journey forward. Try this practical exercise. When you spot resistance, write down both the action you're struggling with and the feeling or fear beneath it. Then ask yourself, what is the smallest possible step I could take right now? Take that step and honor how it feels, even if it's tiny. The power of gentle movement forward, again and again, will amaze you. In the upcoming chapter, we'll stand up to negative emotional spirals and learn effective methods to neutralize their power as soon as they arrive. Stay engaged with the Intentional Prosperity channel, share your stories about overcoming resistance in the comments, and help keep this community a place of encouragement and breakthroughs. Your relationship with resistance can transform everything. Let yourself be proud of every effort on this path. Chapter 9. Neutralize Negative Emotional Spirals. Have you ever felt one tiny setback snowball into a heavy cloud that follows you for hours or even days? Picture this. You spill your morning coffee, get a frustrating email, and by mid-afternoon it feels as if everything is going wrong. Your mood is tense and your thoughts turn gloomy. What started as a minor disappointment has grown into a cycle of frustration, anger, or discouragement that colors everything else. Almost everyone has experienced these emotional spirals, moments when negativity seems to feed on itself, draining your energy and making even simple tasks feel burdensome. It's as if your mind grabs onto every little piece of bad news, creating a storm that overshadows anything good. The struggle with negative emotional spirals is not just about feeling bad emotions. It is about the helplessness that can creep in as each new thought and feeling seem to reinforce and deepen the negativity. You might catch yourself replaying past mistakes, worrying about the future, or mentally listing everything that's gone wrong. You lose patience with loved ones or make decisions you regret. Sometimes, no matter how aware you are that you're in a negative loop, it feels impossible to escape. You may try ignoring it, distracting yourself, or telling yourself to snap out of it, only to find that these tactics barely scratch the surface or simply mask the pain until it erupts again. This experience can feel isolating, exhausting, and can even lead to cycles of guilt or shame for not being able to just feel better. It's important to realize that negative spirals are not a personal failure or a sign of weakness. They're part of being human. The critical transformation comes when you learn how to neutralize these downward emotional cycles the moment they arise. The solution is gentler and more achievable than you might imagine. Instead of fighting or suppressing your emotions, you learn to intercept the spiral with mindful presence and self-compassion, gently redirecting the flow of your energy toward balance and perspective. Think of it as pressing pause, stepping outside the swirl, and calmly choosing to breathe, observe, and recover rather than tumbling further down the emotional slope. The real breakthrough comes from recognizing your power. No matter how intense a spiral feels, you can build the skills to interrupt, neutralize, and reset. Imagine being able to recognize that rising storm of frustration or sadness, and with intention, threading a strand of clarity or hope through it, watching the whole pattern begin to loosen and fade. By adopting this perspective, you bring real power and control back into your life. Instead of being a passenger on your emotional journey, you become the steady driver, able to bring calm and positive momentum to any day. Practicing this approach builds resilience, deepens your trust in yourself, and continually improves your well-being, no matter what challenges life brings. When you sense yourself sliding into a negative emotional spiral, the most effective first step is to pause and consciously acknowledge what you're feeling. Rather than ignoring your emotions or letting them escalate, gently name your experience. You might admit, "I feel frustrated," or "I notice disappointment growing." This honest admission interrupts the automatic escalation, allowing you to observe yourself with compassion instead of judgment. The next practical step involves grounding yourself in the present moment. Focus on your breath by taking several deep, intentional inhales and slow exhales. Feel your feet on the ground, anchor yourself with a touch or by looking around the room, and remind your body and mind that right now you are safe. As an added layer, shift your focus just slightly away from the problem by choosing one small, neutral, or positive anchor. This could be the warmth of sunlight on your skin, the steady rhythm of your breath, a comforting sound, or simply reconnecting with your surroundings. Real-life examples help solidify this process. Imagine a teacher feeling overwhelmed by a classroom disruption. She pauses, closes her eyes for a few breaths, places her hand over her heart, and silently acknowledges her stress. Then she opens her eyes and finds a detail in the room to bring her back to the present, such as the way the sunshine ripples over the desks, and uses that moment to regain her calm. Or perhaps a parent is caught in a cycle of irritation after a challenging family evening. Instead of saying something reactive, he chooses to step outside, breathe in the evening air, and count 10 slow breaths, letting a piece of tension soften before returning to the conversation. Taking these steps shifts your energy away from rumination and gives your emotions space to settle, creating the opportunity to pivot toward a more constructive response. Very often, what seemed overwhelming from inside the spiral feels much more manageable from the calm perspective of the present moment. You start regaining a sense of agency and a subtle willingness to choose a new thought or action. The greatest benefit of this routine is that it strengthens your resilience. Each time you neutralize negativity this way, you teach your mind and body that heavy feelings are temporary and that you are capable of shifting, no matter how stuck it might seem. As encouragement, Practice this process at least once today. Identify a moment, even a small one, where you feel an emotional dip. Name what is happening inside, pause for slow breaths, and redirect your attention to a neutral or positive detail in your immediate environment. This gentle reset increases your confidence in handling harder moments and quickly becomes a skill you can rely on every day. Looking ahead, our journey will shift to the powerful practice of gratitude as emotional fuel. In the next chapter, you'll discover how cultivating thankfulness can gently elevate and sustain your emotional state, no matter what's happening around you. Before moving forward, remember to stay involved with the Intentional Prosperity channel. Share in the comments how you break out of emotional spirals and offer personal suggestions or stories for our growing community. Every step you take to neutralize negativity is another brick in the foundation of your emotional alignment and fulfillment. Chapter 10. Gratitude as Emotional Fuel. What if there was a simple, surprisingly powerful tool you could use in any moment to gently lift your mood, fuel your emotional alignment, and invite more good things into your life? Imagine the feeling of tuning your thoughts, from anxiety or restlessness to a persistent, comforting hum of thankfulness. Gratitude is more than just a social virtue or an occasional thank you. It is a living, breathing force that has the potential to recharge your emotional energy, soften even the toughest moments, and transform how you experience each day. Yet gratitude is often spoken about as something we should have instead of a force we can purposefully nurture. Many people find gratitude elusive, especially when life feels challenging, repetitive, or unfair. It is common to feel weighed down by stress, setbacks, or disappointments, with gratitude sinking to the background, overshadowed by pressing worries or the ordinary grind. Maybe you've tried gratitude journaling only to give up when difficult circumstances stole your attention. Or perhaps the idea of being grateful in hard times feels forced or disconnected from your reality. For others, there is a belief that gratitude should only come naturally in the wake of big wins or obvious blessings, so ordinary days pass by unnoticed while life's small gifts go uncelebrated. The result is often a cycle in which gratitude appears shallow, fleeting, or irrelevant, just another thing on a personal development checklist, instead of a transformative emotional resource. The solution, both simple and profound, is to shift gratitude from a reaction to a practice, a daily inner habit that you choose, nurture, and return to, especially in the moments when it feels most unnatural. Practicing gratitude on purpose, even when life is imperfect or uncertain, can replenish depleted energy and add light to the darkest rooms of your life. You do not have to deny the presence of problems or sugarcoat real struggles. Instead, you harness gratitude as fuel to get through those challenges with more hope and resilience. The heart of this new approach is to focus on very small, overlooked moments, like the comfort of soft sheets at night, the taste of fresh water, or the warmth of a simple smile exchanged in the hallway. And allow these micro-experiences to fill you up from the inside, even if only for a moment. Choosing to see and savor these everyday gifts changes your emotional set point. When gratitude becomes a conscious act, a lens through which you interpret even life's ordinary or difficult moments, you generate sustainable emotional fuel that propels you forward. People who make gratitude a habit often report more stable moods, better relationships, and an awareness of opportunities they'd have otherwise missed. It acts as an anchor when the winds of emotion threaten to carry you away, and over time, it builds a foundation of trust that life is, at its core, abundant. This practice is accessible to everyone, regardless of circumstance, and invites ongoing personal growth as each return to gratitude strengthens your emotional alignment and changes the story you tell yourself about life. To put gratitude into motion as an emotional fuel, start by dedicating a few moments each day to intentionally notice and name what feels good or meaningful, no matter how small. You might choose to do this first thing in the morning, during a meal, or right before bed. At the start, keep it simple. Name 3 things you're grateful for in your mind, or jot them in a notebook or on a note in your phone. They don't need to be grand or life-changing. What matters is how each one feels in your body as you pause to appreciate it. The act of slowing down to witness small blessings, whether it's the gentle light that pours through your window, the taste of your morning coffee, or simply your ability to take a deep breath, trains your attention to look for good everywhere. Find opportunities as your day unfolds to expand your gratitude practice outward. When someone does something kind or helpful, verbalize your appreciation, even if it's just, "Thanks for bringing me that," or "I'm glad you're here." If workdays feel monotonous or you're struggling with difficult circumstances, scan your experience for just one thing, a moment of comfort, mild beauty, or an unexpected laugh that brings a touch of relief. In challenging moments, gently redirect your mind by asking, "What around me can I appreciate right now?" This doesn't mean you need to minimize struggles or pretend to be happy when you're not. It means you balance challenge with the recognition of support or comfort, no matter how fleeting. Real-life stories bring these steps to life. Imagine a college student battling stress before an important exam. Instead of spiraling into dread, she pauses, breathes, and focuses on gratitude for the chance to learn new things and the support of a close friend who texts her encouragement. Suddenly, the tension softens and her focus sharpens. Or consider someone stuck in a difficult job. By beginning a mental list each day of coworkers who make them laugh, small successes, or quiet moments of peace on their lunch break, they discover the day feels more manageable, and bursts of hope start breaking through. By consistently anchoring in gratitude, setbacks lose their power to keep you stuck in negativity. The benefits of this daily gratitude routine extend far beyond a fleeting mood boost. Over time, your emotional state stabilizes, optimism arises more naturally, and your capacity to see opportunities, even in difficulty, increases. Relationships deepen as appreciation is freely given, motivation returns with less effort, and self-worth builds as you continually affirm the goodness present within and around you. The world quite literally seems fuller, lighter, and more accommodating as your focus shifts from lack to abundance. Challenge yourself to start right now with a gratitude moment. Pause and count 3 unique blessings where you are. Write them down, feel them, and notice any shift inside, however subtle. Repeat this practice daily and let it evolve, exploring new depths and directions for your gratitude list. This is a journey, not a destination, and with every return to thankfulness, you're filling your emotional tank for whatever comes next. Up ahead, we'll unlock the key to staying open and receptive so that all you're grateful for and all you desire can flow into your life with less resistance. Make sure to stay engaged with the Intentional Prosperity channel. Contribute your reflections or gratitude practices in the comments, and encourage our growing community by liking the video and sharing your strategies for living with an abundant, grateful heart. Each gratitude-filled step turns your emotional alignment into momentum for the life you truly want. Chapter 11. Stay open to receiving. What if the very abundance or happiness you seek is already knocking at your door, waiting for you to simply let it in? The idea sounds easy, yet so many people unknowingly keep their hearts and hands closed to receiving the goodness they most desire. Whether that's love, opportunities, support, or even simple moments of joy. Imagine a life where you expect new blessings to appear, where you accept compliments without resistance, trust support from others, and welcome financial, emotional, or creative gifts when they come. Most people find themselves unintentionally blocking what they say they want, not because they lack worthiness, but because old habits, fears, or doubts make openness feel risky or uncomfortable. Many people encounter invisible roadblocks when wonderful things try to flow into their lives. Perhaps you feel awkward or dismiss compliments, quickly offering a self-deprecating comment instead of a sincere thank you. Maybe you find it difficult to believe you truly deserve a raise or supportive friendships, or you tend to downplay your desires to avoid disappointment. At times, you may unconsciously decline invitations for help, brush off unexpected gifts, or deflect positive feedback, telling yourself it's better not to expect too much. These habitual shields act like a closed window. Even when the sun shines and opportunity knocks, you remain sheltered from experiencing its warmth. Fear of vulnerability, fear of being let down, and doubts about self-worth all feed into the protective logic that receiving is somehow indulgent, complicated, or unsafe. Yet a powerful transformation takes place when you shift from striving to receive with guarded skepticism to choosing openness grounded in trust. Openness is not about standing idly by, waiting for miracles, or confusing passivity with receptivity. Instead, it's an intentional practice of gently relaxing your inner walls, saying yes to the kindness, abundance, and joy that already surrounds you and is continually trying to enter your life in new forms. When you adopt a perspective of readiness and willingness to receive, you become more attuned to subtle gifts. A supportive word when you least expect it, a new idea that unlocks passion, or a timely opportunity you might have overlooked in the past. Staying open begins on the inside, with the decision to treat all blessings, small or large, as evidence of your own readiness and alignment with what you want. You become more consistent in asking for and accepting help or support, letting generosity flow both ways instead of always being the giver. The benefits of this openness go far beyond the visible gifts or successes that arrive. You develop resilience as you learn not to measure your worth by what you already have, but by your willingness to welcome more. Joy increases as you discover beauty and value everywhere, while stress and self-protection fade. By choosing to leave your arms open wide to life, you stop sabotaging your desires and invite a flood of new experiences, abundant relationships, and creative possibilities. This is where true growth occurs, not by doing more, but by allowing, trusting, and embracing all the good meant for you. To truly stay open to receiving, begin with a daily practice of awareness and intentional acceptance. The first actionable step is to notice the small ways life extends a gift to you. This might be a compliment, a gesture of help, or an unexpectedly peaceful moment amid stress. Instead of brushing it aside or downplaying it, pause and let yourself receive fully. Say thank you with genuine feeling, and breathe in the moment's warmth. For many people, this simple change can feel unfamiliar. With repetition, though, it becomes more comfortable to absorb positivity and cultivate a natural habit of openness. Next, practice asking for and allowing help, support, or kindness when you need it, without that lingering sense of guilt or fear of burdening others. For example, imagine a team member at work offers to lighten your load during a busy week. Rather than declining or insisting you'll manage, accept their help and acknowledge their generosity. Notice the positive shift not only in your experience, but in your connection with others. Openness is contagious and deepens all your relationships. Or consider a parent who feels they must always care for their family single-handedly. What happens when they permit their partner or children to step in, even in small ways like running an errand or making a meal? That act is a declaration. I am worth being cared for, and receiving is safe. Practice accepting positive feedback or affirmations as well, allowing yourself to internalize good words just as deeply as you might have internalized past criticisms. For instance, when a friend says you are talented, or a boss compliments your hard work, pause, smile, and say, "Thank you, I receive that." Let it sink in instead of deflecting with self-effacing humor or immediate dismissal. Each time you do this, you weaken old armor and reinforce the truth that you are deserving of every good thing offered. The benefits of these practices are transformative. As you allow more good into your life, your sense of abundance grows and you begin noticing opportunities, big and small, that once would have slipped by unnoticed. Relationships deepen because people feel valued and trusted around your open heart. Life often feels lighter and more serendipitous as you see everyday gifts appear more frequently. Over time, your emotional resilience grows, your self-confidence becomes rooted in reality, not just hope, and you create a feedback loop where what you allow yourself to receive continues to expand. Embrace a practical exercise today. For the next week, keep a simple receiving log. Each day, record at least one positive thing you willingly allowed to come your way, no matter how small. It could be accepting a compliment, letting someone offer support, or granting yourself an extra moment of peace. At the end of the week, reflect on how opening up even in the smallest ways affects your mood, your perspective, and the opportunities that find you. As we move into the final chapter and learn about mastering manifestation through emotional alignment, Prepare to take all you have learned and create real, lasting change in your life. If you're finding these insights helpful, take a moment to interact with the Intentional Prosperity channel. Subscribe, leave a comment about your experiences with receiving, and share your ideas for how our community can help each other continue to open up. Each act of openness is a brave step toward a fuller, happier, more abundant life. Chapter 12. Manifestation through Emotional Mastery. What if you could truly become the architect of your own reality, directing not just your actions, but the flow of experiences, opportunities, and abundance into your life? Imagine waking each day with a quiet confidence that what you desire is not only possible, but already making its way to you because you know exactly how to align your inner world with your outer goals. Manifestation can sound like magic or wishful thinking, but at its core, it is a natural outcome of emotional mastery, the process of intentionally guiding your emotional state to align with what you want to create. This is not about forcing outcomes or pretending bad days don't happen. It's about cultivating a steady, flexible emotional foundation that supports and accelerates everything you seek. Many people, even those familiar with the basics of manifestation, fall into the trap of focusing solely on external techniques, visualization, scripting, affirmations, while overlooking the deeper engine that powers all creation, your emotional energy. You may have tried visualizing a new job, wishing for a loving relationship, or setting goals for financial abundance, only to find that results are inconsistent or slow to appear. Doubt starts to slip in. You might question if you're doing everything right, feel discouraged during setbacks, or even wonder if manifestation simply doesn't work for you. The frustration grows when you see others effortlessly attract what they want, while you feel stuck in repeated cycles of striving and waiting. The missing piece is often emotional mastery, the key ingredient that determines how consistently your desires unfold into tangible reality. The transformative solution is to shift your definition of manifestation from something you do with occasional rituals to something you are as an ongoing emotional state. When you practice emotional alignment deliberately, you begin to harness a kind of inner magnetism. Instead of wishing, hoping, or struggling to make things happen, your everyday emotions become the invitation that acts as a beacon for your dreams. Emotional mastery is about awareness, choice, and a willingness to gently shift from old habits of worry and skepticism to believable anticipation, hope, and satisfaction now. Not every emotion needs to be perfect, but you discover you have the power to influence your baseline vibration so life responds more positively and rapidly. Evidence of this approach is everywhere for those willing to witness it. Think back to moments when you were deeply relaxed, grateful, or inspired. How often did unexpected opportunities, insights, or support seem to show up, flowing more easily than when you were stressed or doubtful? As you anchor into a practice of emotional mastery, you create a fertile environment where goals and desires begin to grow naturally. Your reality starts reflecting your emotional landscape. Peace draws solutions, optimism attracts encouragement, and gratitude speeds the arrival of good things. With this perspective, manifestation stops being a game of luck or effort and becomes the natural extension of how you feel inside, giving you real, practical tools to shape your destiny each step of the way. Begin manifesting through emotional mastery by anchoring your day with intention and emotional awareness. Each morning, take a few minutes to set the emotional tone for your day. Whether it's calm, confidence, gratitude, or excitement, picture yourself inhabiting that feeling as you move through your plans and interactions. When challenges arise or doubts sneak in, pause and recognize the old emotional pattern, then remind yourself of your chosen feeling for the day. You can shift your emotional state by using small practices. Close your eyes and breathe deeply. Visualize a memory that evokes your desired emotion, or affirm to yourself, "I can turn my mood around, and how I feel is my most powerful tool." In daily life, replace "what if things go wrong" with "what if something wonderful is about to happen to me?" Picture a real-life example, an aspiring entrepreneur who starts each morning quietly in gratitude for her vision, even before seeing results. She welcomes inspiration and clarity because her heart and emotions are prepared for opportunity. When she meets with partners or deals with challenges, she chooses curiosity instead of fear or stress, and solutions appear where they once seemed stuck. Or think about someone looking for love. By practicing self-approval and enjoying the qualities of joy and kindness they hope to find in another, their interactions become easier and relationships more authentic. When doubt appears, they shift their focus back toward hope and worthiness, reinforcing the emotional climate that attracts the right experiences. The more skillfully you practice this, the more you notice meaningful coincidences, easier movement through difficulties, and a growing sense of peace in the process. Action taken from high emotional alignment, whether it's sending a job application, making a new connection, or starting a creative project, yields better, faster outcomes than action born from anxiety or desperation. As you make emotional mastery a routine, your trust in yourself and the manifesting process deepens. You respond resiliently to setbacks, review your intentions, realign your feelings, and try again with greater softness and stability. Try this practical exercise today. Identify one desire or goal that matters to you right now. Instead of worrying how or when it will come about, decide what feeling would align with having it already present in your life. Whenever you think about this goal, consciously evoke and savor that emotion. Let it direct your decisions and interactions. Make notes of any uplifting signs or positive shifts that appear along the way as proof of your growing manifesting ability. You've just completed a transformative journey through the art and practice of emotional alignment. This book has guided you from understanding the energy behind your emotions, tuning your daily frequency, and shifting your awareness, to powerfully clearing blockages, choosing better thoughts, and elevating your vibration. Together we've explored releasing resistance, neutralizing negativity, fueling gratitude, and staying open to all that life has to offer. Ultimately, you've seen how true manifestation flows not from effort alone, but from emotional mastery, aligning your feelings to shape your reality deliberately and with joy. Thank you for investing your time and energy in this journey. Your growth enriches not only your own life, but the lives of everyone you touch. If you found value here, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your reflections in the comments with the Intentional Prosperity community. Your path to abundance and fulfillment continues, and we're grateful to walk alongside you.